Welcome back to the Amazon Accelerates 2025 Deep Dives. My name is Vanessa Hung, and I am the Community Engagement Director at Carbon6. Today, I'm joining Isaac Kiris, a Senior Customer Success Manager at the Strategic Account Services at Amazon. And today, we're going to discover how they are using AI to leverage the data that is available in Seller Central to make the listings better and build a whole new experience for your brand and your products. Thank you for joining, Isaac.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
So before we start, can you tell me a little bit more about yourself? How did you get where you are at? And what is it you work with sellers and at Amazon?
Well, I'm from Costa Rica, right? So my background with entrepreneurship began when my mom used to have a little chocolate company in my house, right? So that pretty much helped us to get started in life. And I learned how to transform your house from a simple house to a little factory. Just selling 100 popsicles of chocolate from 1,000 in just 1 year. And I remember that we were working and having to bring the chocolate into the bus, so it was pretty nurturing for me in order to how to effort a lot in selling, right? That helped us a lot to put on our feet. I then went to college, and from there I got a master's degree in customs administration. And from there, my experience with AI started with my master, also my master in analytics, innovation, and technology. I used to work with another banks in order to create predictive models in order to obtain data, understand data, and from there, take actions, right? From there, I moved to Amazon, and this is where pretty much all the experience in LLMs started. So in Amazon, I've been working with sellers. My job is to advise them, to give them strategic recommendations on what to do, on how to improve, or what's new on Seller Central, maybe. And from there, make a decision and a strategic advice in order to growth. That's pretty much it. Regarding AI, we have been seeing an increase of how data can be actually analyzed in LLMs. And from there, I've been able to develop a strategic procedure in order to take data, like grab them by the hand and teach them, hey, this is your data. And from here, we can transform it into actions. So from there, we create actions for 6 months, 7 months, 1 year in a long run. So this is pretty much what I've been doing for a couple of years. And it's been great seeing sellers grow.
That's amazing. And I love the story with your mom when she started this little business. One of the things that AI really unlocks is speed. Because before you were need to hire a team of analysts and a marketing team, a completely data analyst that go deep into these insights that for a bunch of sellers or the common regular seller, this data doesn't mean anything. And with AI now we can process that and now get insights. So can you tell me a little bit more of how you see these services like the AI LLMs serve sellers with the data that it's for them available in Seller Central?
Yeah, definitely. So thinking about that, my mom did not have a brand, neither a sticker or barcode or something. And the inventory was pretty much like my room, right? So it's kind of the same in a situation where it has all the parts of a seller. The inventory, the process, the information, the clients, right? The customers who say, hey, I love your product. And taking it back to Amazon sellers, it's the same parts in a bigger scale, right? And AI is going to be helping us. It has been helping us a lot in order to process tons of data in very short time and giving us the right path in the right directions. And we only have to ask the right questions to the AI. And from there, it's going to help us a lot into actually put us in the right path to growth, to understand customers, to know what they are having issues with, what they're looking for, but more than that, where the value offer that we put into our products is making a match in their needs and aspirations of life. And that helps them to actually make the purchase decision. And all that complex terms, it's pretty much into the data. We just have to make the right questions. And the AI is, for now, the tool that we're using for it.
That's incredible. And you talk to sellers every day. You know, you're advising them on strategic decisions that they need to make in their business. What is the challenge, or can you give us an example of what was one situation that they were able to solve by understanding this data, process it with LLMs, and then make a decision, an informed decision to change something in their business?
Right. So, great questions. First of all, I think there's a big problem that a lot of sellers have, and that's it, like being trapped in the operational part of your company. So it's easy to fall into the operational trap. That means focusing only on inventory, right? Or accountability. And that's fine because those are kind of sometimes the most important parts of your company. Of course, you have to make your company run. But in the long run, just listing your products in Amazon.com is not enough, right? Customers change. And when you listed your product, it was perfect maybe 1 or 2 years ago. And now your customer has changed. And stepping out of that operational trap, it's a little bit difficult, but with help with others and now tools like AI can help us to really get the right answers and the right questions. And we already have the data in Seller Central, so pretty much every single seller has the tools they need to make it right. So yeah, I've been having a lot of success stories in the past recent years. So just to put an example, we have been able to actually understand that maybe we have all the parts of the listing, right, of a product in Amazon.com. Maybe you have the A+ content. Maybe you have the premium A+ content. But more than that is, what is the value offer we are putting into the information? We might be complete regarding all the checks that we have to make in order to be good at Amazon.com, right? But from there, why customers go to another option, maybe to another competitor? So we have to understand that, and from there, using the data is helping us a lot to understand what is the value offer, what are customers looking for, and then how can we change it to match their needs and values, and from there increase our conversion.
Yeah, that's incredible. You mentioned a lot of it, the parts that are in the business, also in a listing. What are the points or the specific sections of the selling journey that LLMs and AI is helping these sellers to make changes and informed decisions? One thing that I see all the time is that most sellers fall into the trap of, I'm going to see what the number one in the category is doing, and I'm going to copy exactly that. And I think AI could give you a better perspective on what to do based on the data that you have on your customers. So I would like to know if you're working towards that, and how do you do that?
Yeah, thank you. So it's two parts mainly, right? So we have a lot of dashboards in Seller Central. We have market basket analysis, for example, that gives us a lot of information regarding why customers are purchasing our product in a specific. By analyzing other products in their basket, we can understand the real use that they're going to give to our products. So that's just one example, right? We have the data about sellers, about customers, and you as a seller can actually build the data, a format to understand your value proposition. What do I mean by this? Well, I've been teaching my sellers to use several prompts, right? One of them is, for example, hey, dear AI, right, LLM, just please look for these 100 reviews from one of my competitors and understand and give me the top 3 questions a customer thinks right after he gets the product, right? So we have data of the customers, but we also have data of what we're doing and what they're looking for and what they're thinking of, right? And AI can help us also to understand a live in a day situation of a customer. So that's why building customers' personas and understand their needs and values, it's pretty helpful. So what I'm trying to say, it's pretty much that you can list your products, and that's good. But there's a good way to list your products, and by that, it's solving the needs of the customer before even get to your listings. What I'm looking here is to make a silent nodding effect. So when a customer is like scrolling down their phone, they say like, yeah, this is the one, right? And providing the right information to the customer is going to help them to make the purchase decision. We're just here to make them do that, right? Make the purchase decision.
That's amazing. I have 2 questions. Yeah. The first one, and I think this is something that I've been asked a few times, and is what LLM should I use? Because is it Gemini, Claude, ChatGPT? Is there a specific thing, or do you believe that any of this will be able to do the work? Because sellers are always concerned, like what is the best way?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So there are several options, right? Any LLM that you are used to use in your daily work will be fine, right? More than that, I think what's important here is to get familiar with the data and results and get familiar with different perspectives and points of view, right? Something that I've been working on is that sellers, they think who their customers are, right?
Oh my God, yes.
And maybe that has changed during the last 2 years since we listed the product. So get used to have different opinions of your listings. It's the best tool that you can use. Any AI will work, right? But that means that if maybe the prompt or the response that the LLM is giving you is not maybe the ones you're looking for, just try a different one. But be open to new suggestions and new different points of views of your information, because that's where the value is. So use the data, any AI or LLM of your choice, and from there start building on something.
Yeah, I love it because this is one thing that I've seen it in a specific case, a very big seller. He thought he was building a food brand consumable for people that have diabetes and, insulin sensitivity, things like that. But by using AI personas and understanding the data, he realized that he was also selling to the moms that were giving to kids like more conscious, like sugar conscious snacks. So he wasn't able to unlock this information without using AI. So my question to you is, you said that it doesn't matter what LLM you use, you just use the one that you're familiar with. What are the magic prompts that you give the seller? And if there is anything else that you give with the prompt, because you mentioned the market basket analysis, you mentioned a few things with reviews. Is there something else that you give to the LLM to say, check the data and triangulate whatever we were asking?
Awesome. Yeah, that's a great question. So there are like 4 main sources of information in Seller Central. We have order reports to get to know where our items are being shipped to, where our customers are. Market basket analysis, why our customers are buying from us, and what's the final use they might give into. Repeated customer behavior, it tells us a lot about why they're coming back to purchase from us, and demographics will tell us about their age, their income, right? So if they're married or not. So that gives you a general perspective of them, and here comes the AI with the right prompts. So regarding prompts, we already have that strong information, strong data. Generally speaking, the prompts that I like to use, it's more to get the psychographics of your customer. What do I mean? Values, routines. What keeps your customer up at night? What does he have to fulfill in life, right? So you can ask your AI of choice, hey, I have this information from my main customer, right? Demographics. Give me the next psychographics information. What are their values? Describe me this person in a normal day, right? What is he looking for to achieve in life, right? That's just one of them. The other ones are, for example, reviews from customers. The one that I told you, I love that so much. Tell me, review this 100 reviews from customers from my competitors. Tell me which are the 3 main questions they have right after they open the box, right? How can I solve those questions and put it in my A+ content before they even arrive to my listing, right? Or for example, analysis, what is the value offer of my competitor's listing page? So understanding beyond the product, what is the value they're offering to the customer will let me know how else can I compete, right? Not just to copy it, but to understand my value as a company and how can I add value to the client and the product itself. And if I can match the needs of my customers from the psychographics, understand who the customer is, and solve those questions before he even gets to our page, then we're going to help the customer make the purchase decision.
Yeah. And you mentioned A plus content, right? That is one of the pieces of the puzzle because the LLM will give you the psychographics of your consumer. Now you will understand that this is a mom of 3 kids, then she takes care of the kids and the house, and that's kind of her goal and that's kind of her lifestyle, right? What do you do with that data? You mentioned A plus content, but tangible, what are the tangible things that sellers will go in and say, okay, let's make changes, or do you help them also to build campaigns? What happens after the LLM gives you an answer?
That's a great question. And the answer is try and error, right? The best solution, A/B testing, right? Make different versions of what you already have. And now that you understand the needs of your customer, just try it out. Put it out there. See how it evolves. Focus mainly on the search funnel, on the sales funnel, the first part of it, right? How are we moving for clicks to purchases or to add cards, right? If we're seeing that part of the funnel move, that means that people are considering our product more even than our competitors, right? You mentioned A plus content. What else can we do? For example, short videos, Amazon posts, those are amazing. But do it intentionally, right? If you know your customer is with a product looking for to feel better, to make your mom happy, to connect with your family, put that in the A plus content. Put that in the video, right? And if you know who your customer is looking for to make happy, maybe your mom with a product, right? It's a gift, let's say. Then put normal people into your A plus content. Put your mom, right? Put your siblings, your daughters, create some videos with them and try it out, right? See how people react to that and keep track of how people are reacting to the value you are offering and that you are adding to the product itself. And from there, you're going to start seeing where your customer is and pinpoint the right direction in order to make changes.
I love it. And this is the, I guess, continuous work that sellers need to do in optimizing their experience. I wouldn't say necessarily the listing, but you mentioned A plus content, and that goes to the images and the title and the storefront. All of these different tools that brand registered sellers have access to, now they're able to continuously improve and improve. And as you mentioned, consumers might change and trends might shift what it's happening in the category. So now you have the data. So to wrap up, Isaac, what is that you are thinking for the future, right? Like right now, you're working with sellers to understand the AI personas, making changes to the listing, make the brand experience better, and from there, growing their account and their business, their brand. What is in the near future for you, for your team, and how do you see the ecosystem growing?
I really think what we're looking now, it's just the tip of the iceberg, right? So new LLMs come every day, new different punts, different sources of information become available in Seller Central, new automated dashboards regarding profitability or understanding your customer, right? So what's coming towards us, it's pretty much having different sources of information available. And that means that you have to be ready in order to understand data, where it's come, and what can I do with that, right? So I think right now it's the moment for sellers to understand and get your hands into the work in understanding this, becoming familiar with the information on many different perspectives on how to sell on Amazon, how to add value to our products, and from there, just be excitedly waiting for what's up to come, right? So my recommendation for sellers will be to go ahead today. You have the information in your phones. You have access to brand analytics. Go ahead, use the data, try it out, understand what's saying. Try it out with prompts. Get your hands messy, and from there, just give ideas. And there are parts of the experience of your customer in your listing that can be updated today. But maybe we can plan for a year, right? Maybe we can plan for next Halloween. Maybe we can plan for next holiday, right? And we don't have to be now doing changes, but we have to have a mindset of change and update in order to fulfill our customer needs. Because more and more the idea is to grow the Amazon.com and the stores and to include more information there in order to give just more value to the customer.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. I think sellers might be surprised of what they find in the data, and they need to get more comfortable at using it. And some people like shy away from downloading spreadsheets, but now with AI, everything can be done. Like you can become a data analyst in like 1 second just by uploading that into the LLM. So thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you so much for having me.
And for everybody that's tuning in, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to keep covering more releases that are coming your way at Amazon Accelerate 2025. Stay tuned.